Sarah watched The Dark Knight and the Batman Begins. Let's go.
Yeah, isn't that sweet? I know we should probably do our due diligence and like oh, that's such a sick opening slide. Just hyping up our own thing.
Yeah. Let's go.
Dude, it's so sick, man. That's so funny. One of some crew noir. I love noir. Oh, he did end up picking Jumanji
for his favorite watch.
Yeah, dude. Good old BJ Novak's birthday today. That's sick. Alrighty, dude. Well, what do you say? Jump into this.
Let's do it. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute.
You've been out of commission for a while, man. I'll obnoxiously slurp on my electrolytes while you.
Why do you give me shit for electrolytes and you're over here just drinking yours? What do you have? What kind of electrolytes do you have?
Because that day you told me it was. I thought it was water.
Oh,
I thought you guys were like,
gotcha.
Never mind. I was gonna make a joke about Flint, Michigan, but we won't.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do a Saltburn joke. Anyways, diving right in. Welcome to the Sweet and Condensed Podcast, a podcast by people who love movies, people, and the magic that lives where they meet. Welcome back to another episode of the Sweet and Condensed Podcast. I am here with the one and only
Eric Harrison. Thanks for having me back on. I thought I got fired over the break.
You got fired over the break. Dude, I thought I got fired, to be honest. I'm surprised the producers, hit my line after my vacation.
You've gone for a while, man. I don't know how that's acceptable.
It was a hot minute. It was a very long time. Honestly, it felt like 3 months, even though it was 2 weeks.
Tell us about your grand adventure while you were gone.
Okay. The highlights. Durango's wild. It's very nice. We met with the mayor. Well, pro tem mayor. You probably know this language. Do you know what pro tem? Is that right? Pro tem mayor?
That's who you met with?
Like on deck mayor? Like they're in the hole?
Yeah.
I
you
never
had a meeting with him?
We did. We did meet with of Durango, and we met with school board members and council members. It was very interesting to learn about local politics stuff that I had no idea about. But it was fun, dude. It was a good time. It was a lot. I'm exhausted. And then after that 2 weeks course, and I was just filming a lot of things every day. I think I have close to a terabyte, if anyone's familiar with that language, of footage.
What?
It's like 40 or 50 plus hours. I don't know, dude. I have to sift through it. This is what I'm saying, dude. This is that final I was telling you about.
That is insane.
I know, I'm in over my head. But and on top of that, I got back, and the day we got back and finished up, we did that Chase the Moon run, and that night. So it's been a hectic return, to say the least. But dude, I was on it. I played catch up since I hadn't gone to the theaters in a couple weeks, and I watched Long Legs on Friday. I watched Twisters for the first time, even though I'm pretty sure I saw it when I was a kid, but I just don't remember it. So that's why it's a rewatch. And then I watched Twisters on Sunday. It's just been a hell of a return, dude. So it was excited. The run went great. I didn't die. I thought I was going to die, but I didn't. And I was extremely sore, and I'm back.
Hold on. I have a question about your documentary that you were filming, because with all this footage, the streets are talking.
What?
The streets are saying that they enjoy your little mini docs on social. Are the streets going to be able to see this larger documentary, or is it just for school?
Well, first, I want my ego to be inflated real quick.
I don't know why I said it like that. That was kind of... So
it was very Hey Arnold. I don't know why. I don't even know why that makes sense. Wait, first off, people are saying the streets are yapping. I love it.
The streets are yapping, dude.
I love it.
The yappers
dude.
are out.
Are they going to be able to see the longer one? I don't know. I think at first, not quite. I don't really know the rules yet in terms of we record it for the purposes of something and then using it for other purposes. I don't know the rules. I got to figure that out.
Did you film a political ad for the pro tem mayor?
No, I didn't. I didn't film a political ad. Have you ever been pro tem mayor?
40 hours.
During your time of politics?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. When I was an intern at the mayor's office, they appointed me when he was out on leave.
Okay, question though. Wait. Does the mayor in Albuquerque get paid?
Does he get? Of course he gets paid.
Well, apparently not all mayors get paid. Some mayors do it volunteer.
Well, yeah, there's no way Durango's mayor is volunteer.
I want to say maybe. I had to really look at the footage.
I mean, if you're talking like Pagosa Springs or like, no way.
I think that there's little cities, and like Littleton potentially has a mayor that isn't paid.
Oh, wow. So most city council members, like in Albuquerque, they don't get paid. They get paid, but they don't get paid a full salary. It's like 15 grand a year.
Oh
I might be way
yeah.
off, but it's small. But it looks like 13,000 for the mayor in Durango. No, wait a minute. That's crazy. I figured, let's see. The mayor, an honorary title among counselors that rotates yearly, earns a little more than 13,000 a year.
See, that's wild. I guess you do get paid. Paid is paid, but
Hey, hang on one sec.
Holden.
Yellow.
Oh, hey, dude. Okay, I'm not sure where we're at, but just a quick recap. Run went well. People vibed the short docs. Dude,
oh, that's what we were talking about. So what's the deal there? Like, do we get to see
that's
it?
right. I'll work on it. I'll find out. I'm gonna see if we're able to do that. I don't really know the rules, but probably.
I'm just trying to think of how you filmed 40 hours worth of stuff in 7 days.
Because there was 2 sessions for the most part, 4 days a week. Each session was 2 hours, and then so that's 4-ish hours a day for 8 days, plus the drive up, plus bowling night, plus the in between, plus the evening lessons. I recorded some. So anyways, it was a lot of stuff.
By the way, you shared somebody's yesterday. I'm going to be honest. I haven't watched a whole lot of like. Okay, what was his name? Now this is bad. Luke Corns.
Oh yeah, dude, that guy rips.
I've never seen any of his stuff, but I watched that after you shared it. I didn't like your tweet because I don't care about you on social media and I want you to suffer.
Lurker.
I just did now. But yeah, dude, that was great. So anyways, because of that and because the streets are talking, I'm like, we got to see this doc, dude.
I know. And well, I've been watching his stuff for inspiration because I feel the voiceover aspect that he does. It makes it both like he has this vloggy slash not vloggy slash YouTube, but I don't know, the way he tells stories and uses the different elements, like even his voiceover, like he doesn't talk too much into the camera like your normal vlogs, which is why it doesn't feel like super vloggy, but there's still vlog aspects to it. So I'm trying to potentially go that route with a lot more voiceover with this mini doc, because I'm trying to distill it in, find one story that's going to be, you know, not 2 hours long to submit.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then I was like, someone's got to grade this. So if you're listening, Dr. Amanda and Dr. Christina, hopefully I don't submit a 3 hour long conglomerate of everything we did for those 2 weeks. But yeah, dude, it got me. Kelly and Luke Corns, man, got me real inspired, dude. So we got to figure out how to collaborate on these next reels for the socials.
Oh, heck yeah.
But real quick though, what about you, dude? How was your run and your immersion trip these last 2 weeks?
It was ours was great. No, it's Kelly's birthday weekend since we last talked, and went to the lake and with the kids and the fam. Kelly stayed home sick. She got the Rona, I think, because she couldn't taste or smell.
Oh, no.
And we were in this family group chat the other day. And so my Nana had got sick as well.
Okay.
And so the family's texting everybody, like, how's Nana feeling? And Nana's like, I'm doing great. How's Kelly? And I was like, oh, she's still not great. She's like, oh, wow. It's taken her quite a while. And I was like, our 86-year-old grandma was like, skill issue, like level up. Why is it taking so long? So it's like,
I love that.
The funniest thing ever, dude. And
Just
her diet
flexing.
is chips and salsa and beans. She's the healthiest, almost 90-year-old around. But dude, yeah. So I also did those mountain bike shuttles again.
Hell yeah.
Got wrecked.
Oh, you ate shit, huh?
Yeah, dude. That was
What happened?
pretty
You
bad.
slammed on the front brakes, huh?
No, there's a new trail that they just built. It's called the North Course.
Okay.
In Cedar Crest. And all the guys that do this, like some of them are pro and semi-pro. So I'm like always back of the line. I'm like, I'm not going to hold anybody up. And I was going around a berm and just had my feet leveled wrong and braked at the wrong time. And I went over the handlebars.
Oh.
Just brutal, dude. Smacked my head. Got all cut up. But it was fun.
Hell yeah.
One of the dudes, Juan, who's behind me, pulled over. We fixed, like, because my handlebars were completely crooked. And so we fixed up my bike real quick and I finished the trail. Did a couple more laps and I was like, wow, probably should not. And so then went home. But yeah, man.
Is the bike
that was
okay?
Fun. No. I need to take it to the shop, actually.
Damn. That's the
I need
new
to go
one,
get
huh?
it checked out. Yeah, I did a few laps on it, but it was just feeling janky and my confidence was not super there. So 2 or 3 laps after the crash, It was a really sketchy technical section that was steep, and I was braking a lot, and I was like, "This is not good. Like, I need to be done for the day." You know, when your confidence is gone and you're not committed to
Yeah.
it, that's when other crashes happen. So,
It's true,
sorry
man.
about that.
It's true. That sounds like a
Ooh,
good
dude,
time
that
though.
bagel killed me.
What bagel?
That is I made a big old sandwich this morning, like sliced a bagel up, some eggs and cheese, but I ate it way too
It's
fast.
very New Yorkan of you. Bacon, egg, and
Well,
cheese. Is that your order? Is that your
bacon, egg,
go-to?
and cheese. No bacon.
No bacon, just egg and cheese
Just an egg
person.
and cheese. Just an egg and cheese person.
Dude.
Well, I like bacon, but I didn't have bacon.
Gotcha. But if you had, what's your ideal bagel? Is a bacon, egg,
Oh,
and cheese?
ham. No,
Oh,
ham, dude. I love me some ham.
Like regular ham or Canadian?
Either way,
Is there a difference?
is there a difference?
Black Forest Hillshire or
See, if it's like a Black Forest, like deli meat style, I'll throw it on the stove for a little bit, get a little
Okay.
toasty, shrivel it up,
yep,
you know,
yep.
because it's like all moist. You throw it on and it just shrivels up into like a little.
Yeah, like an
These
Arby's.
descriptions are not great. So we'll
Like Arby's
let's move
meat?
on. Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, cool. Before we jump into the what's new to streaming, we're going to talk about Presumed Innocent and what's new to streaming in August. But I have a little mini announcement. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. And if you're old-time listener, hell yeah. You might be more familiar with the Medium Project if you know about our crossover of our other podcasts. Well, we're merging. We have a whole other dedicated channel, the Medium Project, but we're moving those episodes into segments and episodes into this podcast. And here soon, we are going to do a Medium Project episode on It Ends With Us. And if you're thinking, what the hell is that, Josh? What's the Medium Project? Well, that's when we look at different mediums that were adapted to the screen, whether it's books, comic books, poetry, short stories that were made into movies, such as Shawshank Redemption, which, dude, short stories from Stephen King have turned into some of the most beautiful, wonderful, wildest movies. I probably went most of my life before realizing. Did you know that Shawshank was a short story by Stephen King?
Yeah, absolutely. As of 10 seconds ago.
And Stand By Me, which was called The Body, also
Really?
Stephen King. Dude, it's a trip, dude. That whole world of turning, because when you think of Stephen King, I'm thinking, like It and The Shining, right? Classics. But yeah, dude, Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, but that's not a short. That's like a whole ass series of books or something by Stephen King, but still Stephen King nonetheless. But anyways, so for example, we look at things like that, and then we do an episode and we compare the two and we have fun categories. Anyways, we're doing one with It Ends With Us. It comes out August 9th, starring Blake Lively and some other people, and we are going to read the book. So if you want to join us for that, you have like a whole month to read the book, watch the movie, and we'll probably be releasing that at the end of August. Eric, where are you at with the book? Are you reading it? Are you joining us for this episode?
I am chapter 2, baby. I'm not a reader like Kelly, Josh, and Sarah are. Is New Mexico Drew a reader?
He is. If he's gonna read this one, that's a different question, but he is a reader. I think he's always reading something at least every day.
See, the problem is like Kelly and I will go to the bookstore, we'll go anyway, and like I gravitate towards. I'm not a huge reader, but like the most recent book I read was The Art of Persuasion, and it's stuff like that. It's
Oh, that's
Let me see
right. Like
what's
life
by.
books. You're reading some of that other life book by that other person. All of those are very ambiguous, vague words that I just said.
Yeah, but I'm not a reader to begin with, and Kelly reads a lot, and so I'm catching up. I'm chapter 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna be on board for the train.
Okay.
An honorary Medium Project attendee. So it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm stoked, dude. We're gonna have Sarah back on the pod, which I'm excited. And yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. I'm already hesitant about the adaptation, but you know what? That's neither here nor there because we're not talking about that. We're talking about today's favorite watch by me because the show's about. No, I'm just kidding. We're talking about Presumed Innocence, and honestly, that's more about Eric and Kelly and the rest of the internet. Y'all have been not pressuring. Y'all have been talking about this and saying it was worth it. I remember I texted you a couple weeks ago if I should watch Severance or Presumed Innocent. And though it was a hard decision, you had told me Presumed Innocent. And I listened and I binged and I watched the finale, which, okay, it was supposed to come out on Wednesday, right? And they ended up releasing early.
They dropped it early on us. That was crazy. I didn't know until I jumped on my daily read, Twitter, and saw someone said, "Oh, I'm so glad Apple dropped it early." And I was like, "Is this clickbait?" And so I went. Sure as hell, it was right there.
Which is wild because I had a whole plan to not stay up till 4 a.m. to watch the finale on Tuesday and ruin my Wednesday. But that's exactly what happened because of this. But before I talk about my experience, Eric, I want to ask you, what was it about this show that you and Kelly were, Josh, you have to watch this. The rest of the internet also was saying, I have to watch this. Why this show? Why were you saying that?
Well, first things first, I am so upset that Apple just doesn't know how to market any of their shows. Like, it's just ridiculous. And them dropping it early is another example. Like, they could have had everybody everywhere talking about this show. They didn't have coming up next week. Like, the cliffhanger just left you out to dry for a full week. And all of the internet would have been talking about it in the same way Euphoria and The Bear. We've talked about this before.
Right.
The Bear, something. Obviously, it was released weekly, and where The Bear was dropped at once. There's no marketing around this, and it just bugs me, pisses me off. Same thing with Severance. Anyways, by the way, I got Kelly hooked on Severance 2 nights ago, so we're getting back into that. But I'll watch anything with Jake Gyllenhaal, to be honest. But so I recently, about a month ago, started rewatching a show on HBO, another Stephen King ordeal. It came out in 2020, 2019, called The Outsider. It's a horror
Bateman.
show.
Well, kind of.
And
Bateman.
yeah, Bateman. Did you see The Outsider?
No, but you ruined it for me. I remember.
Okay, yes. And so Bill Camp, who is the attorney here, he's in that, and he's also in The Night Of, this other short mini series. And anytime he shows up in a show, so it was weird for me because, like, again, I'll watch anything Jake Gyllenhaal. I actually probably can't say that because I didn't see Roadhouse, but also
I did watch
Roadhouse. But it's seen the cast, so I don't know how to say his last name. Peter Sarsgaard?
Sarsgaard, yeah. Sarsgaard.
And Jake Gyllenhaal and Bill Camp. So Peter Sarsgaard and Jake Gyllenhaal were both in Jarhead together.
Oh, wow.
And again, Peter is married to Jake's sister. So, like, there's this whole connection that they have personally. And I was reading this review of the first episode that was talking about the magic on set that they had when they engaged in the scenes where there was a lot of tension. And they were like, them knowing each other and having a personal friendship and family relationship made it just elevated it even more. And I was like, dude, I'm sold. I'm in. Because again, Jake Gyllenhaal for sure, asterisk with Roadhouse. But just the cast was so great. And I had just rewatched Outsider with Bill Camp. So I was just super hooked. But again, the way they did that first episode was so engaging. And again, it depends if it's how I feel that day, if I like everything to get dropped at once or weekly. But this was a great show to have dropped weekly because you were truly just waiting. There was never any. I was even YouTubing like up next on Presumed Innocent, but they never had one. So
wait, so
man, the cast was great.
It was dropped weekly, but there was multiple weeks between the finale and episode 7. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, and I actually might be wrong about the first 2 episodes. I can go check Apple TV. I think the first 2 dropped at the same time.
Okay.
But yeah, it was dropped every Wednesday. Wednesday night was the.
And then there was like a whole month or something between. I don't know if I'm reading the internet right, but I saw something about because it was along the same vein of Apple's very bad at marketing. They were like Apple did a very bad job in general because of they released weekly, and then all of a sudden there was like 6 weeks or something between episode 7 and episode 8.
Yeah.
And then they released it early.
First one, the first 2 episodes were on the 12th of June. And then, they did weekly. And then the finale was the 24th. No, it was just a week between the 7th and 8th.
I don't know what the heck people were talking about on the internet then. Or what I read. Maybe it's
first 2 were at the same, first 2 were the same day, and then it was weekly after that.
Okay. Nonetheless, dude, it was, I agree with you. It was great. Jake Gyllenhaal definitely pulls like people in, I think, but because I obviously all I knew about the show was it was Jake Gyllenhaal was the lead, right? And so even after you told me I should watch it, I tune in, and I'll be honest, the other people I thought like don't get me wrong, Jake did a good job. I love watching him in lead roles. The other people in it, Bill Camp and Sarsgaard, they blew me away. I felt like the other lawyers were more lawyery too. Renee. Rainsiv, the one who played Carolyn?
Oh, yeah.
Like her, Bill Camp, and Peter Sarsgaard, they felt like lawyers. And the way they looked, the way they dressed, and all. I mean, I know Jake Gyllenhaal dressed like a lawyer. But anyways, I thought they did a hell of a job. Maybe it's too because they were like, especially Peter's character, Tommy Malto, is just a complete just dirtbag dude. Like he like dude.
Oh yeah. And then the what's his I'm gonna butcher this, but OT Fagmano?
Yes, Nico Del Guardia.
Yes. His character was so intriguing. He had a lot of screen time, but not a lot of lines. But when he spoke, I saw afterwards. I'm glad I saw this after. People complained about his voice. People didn't like it, but I loved it. I thought it was so intriguing the way he talked, the way he spoke. Like his delivery to me was powerful and engaging. I don't know. People complained about it. I heard his real voice, and it was kind of crazy how he changed it up for this. But again, the supporting cast was fantastic.
Right.
Like you said, Jake was good. Jake was great. But man, even his kids.
Yeah.
And that finale was like that's what you call sticking the landing.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I
You're
agree.
setting people up, and that was woof.
Dude, without ruining it or anything, I just want to say, yeah, like literally the show. One, I'm a sucker for cliffhangers. Like the whole episode could be not that interesting, but if you give me a good cliffhanger, I'm hitting up next, play next.
Toast.
And this was one of those shows that I just could not watch. And that again, hence why I stayed up till 4 a.m. that Tuesday, technically Wednesday morning. But I thought it was like everyone, like I was like, this person, they did such a good job of making me think it was this person every different episode. And I thought it was everybody except for whatever happened at the end. I was like, oh shit, I didn't see that. Like it was just it did such a good job of creating mystery and us assuming who's the culprit. And it was just a fun trial and a fun whodunit kind of mystery series. Because dude, I agree. Like Apple's just so good. I just wish they would market it so much more, so much better.
100%.
And it's also weird because as good as the shows are, it takes me forever to get into them. Like I still haven't seen Bad Sisters. I still haven't seen. So I watched Ted Lasso, but I haven't seen Silo or Acapulco or Severance. Like I still haven't even touched Severance at all. But they're all like Ted Lasso, this show, Shrinking, all phenomenal in my opinion.
So I was looking up to well, Ted Lasso had marketing, but I feel like that's the only one, right? Like everything else is just kind of like gone under the radar.
Well, dude, I didn't even know it was out. Like I watched it for the first time January 2021, and I believe it came out August 2020, maybe. And I only watched it because I was visiting the Canes, and Zach's like, "Hey, we are watching. Like we just finished the show, and we're gonna watch it again and rewatch it with you." And I literally had never heard of any of it. Even the character, when Ted Lasso's character came out like years and years before on, what was it? They hired him for some, I don't know if it was an SNL character. It was one of those sketch comedy something. There's a whole world of Ted Lasso even before the show Ted Lasso. But anyways, Apple, if you're listening, Steve Jobs, call Apple, tell them what's up.
I did hear a side note that they're spending $20 million an episode on the new, or they did spend that on the new season of Severance. And that might be a rumor or a lie, but it was one of those like discussing film articles. And I'm like, when you watch Severance, you'll understand what I'm just not, the math isn't mathing. Like they do not have that amount of A-lists for salary. It just doesn't make any sense. Hopefully I'm wrong, but we saw that article on Twitter where they're cutting back on their streaming shows. I'm like, well, yeah, if you're spending $20 million an episode, I hope that's wrong. I'm going to check actually.
Yeah, no, I think I remember I think I saw that because someone was saying they're like, doesn't the show mostly take place in a room, like one office building? So they're like, where does the 20
Apple
million
TV will
go?
reduce spending in Severance. Season 2 reportedly costs $20 million an episode. $180 million for season 2, dude.
Oh my God. And it's Ben Stiller, right?
Yeah.
I love Ben Stiller's directing. Well, I wonder if we can look up the breakdown of where that money goes, because money just makes zero sense. Wait, last thing I want to say before I want to say about Bill Camp. Dude, I didn't know that's Harlan Eustace from Molly's Game. Did you watch Molly's Game?
Of course.
I've seen that movie a million times. He's the guy that loses to Bad Brad and freaks out and has a mental breakdown and goes into the whole 1.2 million.
Incredible.
And I was like, I know this guy from somewhere. But anyways,
He's in so many things where it's just him and Peter that's what I'm saying. When Peter Sarsgaard shows up in anything, I was trying to see. So Black Mass, I love Black Mass. People may not like that one.
I never saw it.
Oh, with Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
It's supposedly it's about. Sorry, not supposedly. Departed supposedly is about the guy that Johnny Depp plays in Black Mask, which is a more direct line about that guy, right? The mobster of Boston. But I just never watched it.
And then in Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Oh.
He's one of those crooked politicians. Peter Sarsgaard is. So again, him and when you see Bill Camp, it's like that familiar face or voice that they just, again, are not necessarily leads usually, but they just elevate whatever they're in.
Right.
Hey, have you seen The Night Of?
No, never heard of it.
Oh man, it's a miniseries. It came out 2016. John Turturro's in it. Bill Camp.
The Night Of.
Riz Ahmed from
Oh, someone told me about this, and they said this was the first time they saw Riz Ahmed, and they loved him in it. Steve Zalian is one of the creators.
It's a killer show, man.
Oh, it's only 8 episodes, and it's one and done.
It's fantastic.
What's it on? Where can I watch this?
HBO.
Oh, okay. I'm
pretty sure it's an HBO original. Yeah, HBO 8-part series. Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to check that one out. That's a good quick hitter. You don't ever have to worry about a second season. It came out 8 years ago, so it's this one and done, but it is fantastic.
Huh. Yeah, dude. I like, and the creator of it, that Steven Zalian. He wrote The Irishman, co-wrote or fully wrote The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, your favorite watch. He wrote that, Moneyball, American Gangster. He's a Gangs of New York, Hannibal, Schindler's List. Like, this dude's like a blockbuster, big time writer, which seems like it would be a good show.
Oh, heck yeah.
Anyways, speaking of that and speaking of streaming, dude, why don't we jump into this episode of What's New to Streaming? Okay. So Eric and I are going to talk about 3 movies, well, 4 watches total. And we're going to use the Living a Stream guidelines rubric. Does the movie hold us in thought? Did a movie, what's a funny movie that's going to make us laugh, and what's a movie that might move us to tears of joy or sadness? And then one that we haven't seen that's on our radar that is new to streaming that might be watch list worthy. So Eric, why don't we kick it off with our first pick? What do you got?
I muted myself. Damn, that's crazy.
That's wild. Dude.
Did you mute me? That's crazy. I have to say, unfortunately for everybody, so I think I've said this before, HBO is like my go-to. Anytime it's like, all right, Kelly's at the gym, the kids are asleep, I want something to watch, HBO's my first click. They are a little weaker on the new releases this time around. And I don't have any movies on that one actually that are on my list, but I'll still probably click them when you go to the fridge thinking there's something different in there, just every day, just the same shit. You're like, okay, there's the yogurt. Yep. There's the yogurt. That's how I am with HBO.
Incredible.
Which, hey, by the way, I never saw Love Lies Bleeding, which is now streaming on HBO.
It is.
So reverting, I'm watching that one. The first one that I'm going to mention for me is coming out on Hulu, Kingdom of Heaven. Now, I've seen this before. I haven't seen it in quite some time. But so it came out in 2005. It's a Ridley Scott, starring Orlando Bloom, Liam Neeson, Eva Green, Edward Norton. Wow, Jeremy Irons. This is a crazy cast. I forgot. I mean, Orlando Bloom, obviously, we all know. But it's a great cast. This was like the first period epic I feel like that I saw as a kid that really got me into movies. So I remember picking it up at Blockbuster. So Josh will know that Blockbuster off of Paseo and Golf Course right there.
Yep.
That specific one is the one that I always, like, my Nana would take me to, or my parents would take me to. And I remember renting Kingdom of Heaven with Vincent, and because I was too young to see it in theaters. And I don't know, there's something about that movie. When I saw that name pop up, I started Googling it and I watched the trailer again. I'm so excited to rewatch that. So that is a Hulu release. And yes, Hulu. It might be Hulu Plus, y'all.
Oof.
Yikers. But I am also told, and shame me for not knowing this, that there's a director's cut
of Kingdom of Heaven?
Yes.
Oh.
Let me see. Yes, there's a director's cut. So I don't think that, so this is not on Hulu, but I also want to check that out because I've never seen it and I heard it's amazing. And Ridley Scott stuff is awesome. And what's crazy too is as I say this, people might be like, well, Gladiator came out 5 years prior to that. I was way too young to see Gladiator in 2000.
Mm.
So I watched Gladiator after that. So again, it literally opened my eyes to these epic movies in 2005 when it came out for rent at Blockbuster. Saw Gladiator after that and these other, not all Ridley Scott movies, but kind of these period epics. And so I'm very excited to see that. So it didn't necessarily hold me in thought. Well, it did because look, 19 years later, I'm still thinking about it. And there's something about that that gets me so excited to rewatch it. I don't know, just watching that for the first time, having that disc from
Right.
Blockbuster, you know? So I'm excited to watch that one. That's got to be my first one. That grabbed my attention immediately when I was looking at what's coming to streaming.
Dude, that's I feel like something about period pieces, movies, like your movies are already building worlds, but sometimes when they're too like presumed innocent, not that it's in our worlds because we're not lawyers, but it's a very modern world that we know exists. And so I think that there's something maybe magical about being introduced to movies with these epics that are, you know, what is this one, 12th century or something?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stop saying it, dude. And I put that on my Letterboxd review because I just watched Thelma and Louise, which is superb, like it damn near perfect movie. I think Ridley Scott did that movie, and I keep catching myself. Before this last watch of Thelma and Louise, I tell people that I don't really like Ridley Scott. And then I think about all the movies and I'm like, this is a complete and utter lie. Like I've just been blatantly lying to people's faces because I was like Gladiator, Alien. I just watched Alien for the first time and I did like that. And then he's also done, Last Duel, The Martian, like all these movies that I'm like, oh wait, I actually really enjoy Ridley Scott. And even when you brought up Kingdom of Heaven, I was like, who did that one? And it's Ridley Scott. And so I need to I haven't seen Kingdom of Heaven. I need to put that one on my list. He did the first Blade Runner. So anyways,
first Blade Runner.
It's just, I know I call myself a film person and I just lie to people about the movies I do and don't like. But anyways, and don't get me wrong, I guess some of them are like I didn't enjoy or I haven't seen, but American Gangster, super rewatchable. I did watch Prometheus. Black Hawk Down. Anyways,
Black Hawk Down, man. Come on.
Dude, never mind. I like Ridley Scott. Stop. He needs to get his flowers from Josh. So I'm done on that. But funny enough, though, the movie that I have too has the word kingdom in it. And it's coming to Hulu. It was a movie we watched earlier this year that we did a scorecard on for the new newsletter. Shameless plug. Newsletter, sweet and condensed. Sign up in our show notes. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is coming to Hulu. It's making its debut. So if you didn't catch it in theaters, here's an opportunity it comes out August 2nd, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And I really enjoyed this one. Eric and I have talked about it, I think on a few episodes back about the whole world of apes, the ape movies. And he convinced me to do a rewatch of all of them, Dawn, Rise, and War. And I just forgot, I guess. It just fell out of my brain that these, one, are incredible stories, but two, the CGI is unreal. Like it's way, like I know that there's other movies that get a lot of credit for the CGI and the graphics and the big, Marvel movies and James Cameron obviously with the world of Avatar, but man, these ones are so damn good, dude. Like they're kind of, these are like, these monkeys are monkeys acting. These are, my bad, apes. Sorry. I'm being specious. These apes are the ones acting, and I'll never get used to apes riding horses, dude. That's
just incredible.
That's such a foreign, like they're. I know it's
everybody
not
says that in
for me, but
oh my god, everybody says it, and not everybody. It's common to say, "Oh, this movie was ahead of its time," but seriously, like the CGI in these movies are ahead of their time.
I wanted to say that. That's literally was on the tip of my tongue, but I was like, can I say that? Like it's
everybody says that, right? Like, oh, this movie was ahead of its time. Like, there's no way. There's yet to be something comparable. What comes to mind is Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. That's another one where it's like ahead of its time.
Right.
Like I hate to say it 100 times, but
dude, Davy Jones when he made his debut on the screen, dude, I miss the Pirates. Like seeing those for the first time was such a special moment, dude. But
absolutely.
Another one, well, fun fact was James Cameron made Titanic in 1997 and his follow-up movie was going to be Avatar. But he said the technology wasn't there, and then in 2001 he saw Gollum, and he said, "Now we're ready." As soon as he saw
That's
Gollum
so
on the
sick.
screen, and to be fair, I think that Gollum was a very, again, could be in the same lane, or you know,
Yeah.
what was it called? The same group of ahead of its time. But anyway, same category. There we go. That's the word. But anyways, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I think it could get you thinking. A touch of emotional, not too wild, but anyways, it's a good movie. I definitely recommend. Eric, what do you got? What do you got next?
Ooh, so this is another one that held me in thought, but it made me laugh a lot. And this is so weird. Probably one of my most rewatchable movies is The Big Short.
Oh,
So we've talked about it a lot, but not on the podcast. So The Big Short, which is 2015, I believe. Adam McKay, yeah, 2015. Christian Bale, Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Brad Pitt, Jeremy Strong, Marissa Tomei, and my guy. It obviously features a lot of other celebrities and what's the word?
cameos.
Yeah, cameos. Finn Wittrock, which not a huge household name, but he was in American Horror Story, and he's my guy. Anyways, shout out Finn Wittrock. He's great. So it is one of my most rewatchable movies, and it definitely will hold you in thought because it's about the 2008 housing market crash. But it will also make you laugh because Ryan Gosling again is the #1 comedy actor in the last 20 years. Take a seat, Will Ferrell. Take a seat, everyone else. No, but it is. I don't know why it's so rewatchable to me. I'm not sure what it is. If it's like the intrigue about the actual, at times, the housing market crash. Like if I really get into the weeds at work and like my brain is thinking finances, but also just like a good comfort rewatch movie. That's a weird one to be rewatchable, to be honest with you.
It kind of is, but I totally get it.
You're like, yeah, it's definitely
it's
not.
one of my comfort movies that if I'm overly stressed or I'm trying to go to sleep, I put that on because it's so familiar. Same thing with it's like in the same vein as Social Network, Molly's Game, where if I fall asleep in the middle of it, I won't be sad, and I don't necessarily have to stay up for the whole thing because I've seen it so many times because it's so rewatchable. I've seen it over and over and over. And it is kind of horrifying, which is another thing. Maybe that's why I keep returning to it, is just to really just hammer in my brain that the 2008 housing crisis was an actual like worldwide, I want to say issue, but it feels way more deeper than that. Like more dangerous than, oh yeah, it was an issue. Like it seemed like, the world current, like the world economics could have collapsed and everything could have been ruined. I mean, in a lot of ways too, like they said in the movie, one of the most powerful scenes in that movie is when they're all cheering your boy Finn Wittrock and Charlie, I forget his actor name, but he was also the husband, which threw me for a loop in past lives. But
yes,
we should do a whole episode dedicated to The Big Short. But when they were cheering because they made that deal, they brokered the deal at that convention, and then Brad Pitt's character said, "Stop being excited." He goes, "Let me give you a statistic for every X amount of unemployment percentage points. This is how many people die." Something along those lines. And
crazy.
And in that moment too, I'm like, oh, I know this is a movie. He's talking about the movie, but this is like a real life thing. This really, really happened. And anyways, I think Adam McKay does such a good job too of making movies that are very, very serious and funny elements about real world issues to like get us our attention. Like, have you ever watched the credits to The Other Guys and pay attention to all the graphics?
No.
What next time you watch The Other Guys, watch the graphics at the end credits, and it has all these statistics about CEOs and money and business and the wealth disparity and how we've gone about finance and some of the shady shit that's going on in American corporate America. Which again, that movie, I was like, oh, why would that be? That movie's funny, like it's ridiculous, and then all of a sudden there's this like message.
How crazy!
Anyways,
Vice too. We saw Vice in theaters together.
Oh, that's right. I do remember. It was in the middle of the day when we watched it. It was a multi-generational experience.
Yeah, I think we were the youngest by 4 decades,
easily. But that's right. Vice, and then not as rewatchable, but I still decent. But
I just have to say really quick as I'm Googling, it's criminal that The Menu and Vice had the same box office turnout.
Oh, wow.
76 million to 77 million. I'm like, The Menu. Never mind. We'll move on.
We should do an episode on The Menu because I loved it. Surprisingly.
1000%.
Anyways, speaking of Ryan Gosling being the best and biggest comedian. Your opinion, not mine. But I do. It's a good argument. It's a good argument, dude. Crazy Stupid Love just had its anniversary of like X amount of
Unbelievable.
years of being released. I think it was 12 years. But anyways, The Fall Guy is debuting on Peacock. It's a Peacock exclusive. It's coming out the end of August 30th. But I'm still going to shout it out. I'm still going to say it because this movie just about, depending on who you are, it's definitely, you know, it gives you some stuff to think about and hold you in thought. Definitely is going to make you laugh. It might be light on the thinking, but I really enjoyed even just the ode to stunt people and the credits in it. Watch the credits because it has all these real life footage and BTS of stunt people, stunt folks who go through hell to make these big movies and big blockbusters. And then it was also a show. Shout out the show back in the day. But it might make you cry. No, there's a couple parts that made me emotional. I don't think it's a rom-com. It's not made to make you leak a shitload of tears, but man, did it get me. It has one of those scenes, just like if you're familiar with The Bear, Forks, episode 7, season 2, I think. It has another one of those where it's just a man has a breakthrough or an emotional moment while listening to Taylor Swift in a vehicle. And so if you put that in a movie, dude, you're gonna have a banger of a watch. So, did you watch The Fall Guy? Another one of our newsletter scorecards. But all right, dude, if you're a Ryan Gosling fan, you got to put it on. You got to put it on.
I know.
So anyways, that's my second one.
My next one is World War Z because I've seen it a bunch of times. It's one of my favorite zombie films. So World War Z came out 2013. Brad Pitt. Let's see who else. Let me Google it. Wow, that had a crazy box office. Anyways, one of my favorite zombie films. It's emotional in the same way where you just mentioned. It's not meant to make you like really, you know, it's not an introspective movie where you're thinking deeply and really that emotional, but there are some emotional scenes. And it is really well done. It's one of my favorite zombie movies, that and Train to Busan. I might be saying that wrong, but I don't know if you've heard of that one. World War Z and Train to Busan, which is a Korean film.
Oh.
My two favorite zombie movies of all time. So that one, Train to Busan, is not streaming. Well, wait. It's currently on Peacock. I don't know if it's going to be on Peacock in August. But Train to Busan is so good. So for foreign films... I don't know. Actually, I know I put down World War Z, but Train to Busan is probably my favorite zombie film ever. World War Z maybe is like top 5, but that's a great one. I'm excited to rewatch that one again. Kelly and I really enjoyed that one. I think we watched that in theaters when we were dating, so that was a fun one. Man, I'm like, you need to watch Train to Busan too, Josh.
I do. I've never seen it.
It is. Now talk about emotion. It's one of the.
Really?
It is incredible. It's one of the better.
I've heard of it. I've heard good things
horror
about
movies.
it. Shout out Movie Mavens. I think that they did an episode on a spicy double feature on Train to Busan. And I just haven't dove in. I think maybe the roomies have seen it, the older roomies. I know that New Mexico Drew and I think Brenda too are going to be super pumped that the World War Z got a shout out because I believe it's one of their top 5 as well. I've seen it. I need to rewatch it. It is really good from what I remember, but I only watched it once when it came out.
Oh yeah, that's great.
But
have a double feature with both Train to Busan and World War Z.
Dude, Train to Busan it scares me, dude. It looks scary. It looks horrifying.
That's the thing with World War Z is it's intense and you're really engaged. And there's that scene. I think are they in Israel in that scene when they're climbing the wall or somewhere? And it's really intense and you feel stressed. But Train to Busan, like you actually, it's
like Train to Busan scary, right? Like it's a horror film adjacent at least.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
On a scale from Happy Feet to Hereditary.
I'm leaving.
Tell me how scary Train to Busan is.
It's pretty damn scary.
Really?
It's so you think of Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, just all these horror. They're not actually scary. Right? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe for some people they're scary. Actually, that intro scene to Dawn of the Dead, the remake from the early 2000s, that's tough, man. That one is also one of my top 5 zombie movies. That's freaky.
That's a little Snyder, scary. Right? You're talking about, is it Snyder who did that one?
Yeah. I think it's 2004.
Okay. Where they get stuck in a
mall.
strip mall, and then the guy from Modern Family has a yacht, and then he turns into a zombie. That's I don't know why that character sticks out all the time. Every time I see Modern Family, I'm like, I can't watch Modern Family because all I can think about is that he was an asshole, right? Like he was not.
100%.
And that's all I think about is him, and then him turning into a zombie. Which oddly enough, I think he got nicer. But
Let's see. Yeah. This is Zack Snyder.
okay.
But see, the difference is you're not scared in those movies. Train to Busan, you're actually going to get scared, I think. But it's great. So it's
further
really well
on the
done.
scale towards Hereditary, past
Absolutely.
past Dawn of the Dead. But
Absolutely.
it's not Hereditary though, right?
No. The zombies are just terrifying, and the scenes of them turning are just much more intense.
Okay.
Like the CGI is done in a way, and there's a lot of practical effects too. Like it's intense.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, because they did I went back and I found the Movie Mavens episode, August 17th, 2022, episode 82, Bullet Train to Busan, because they do spicy double feature where they connect two movies through one element, and this one obviously trains. And I was obsessed with Bullet Train. I'm still obsessed with Bullet Train. So I listened to that episode even though I'd never seen Train to Busan. But so apparently I've been thinking about watching it since August 17th, 2022. So
Well, it's time to jump on board, dude. Okay, you've got a list. Okay, so we have Mindhunter, we have Burning.
I watched 13 minutes
Train to
of
Busan.
Burning last night. 13 minutes. I fell asleep. But it's not what I thought. Is that a scary movie? Like, am I supposed to get scared at some point?
No, dude.
Oh, this is why it took me so long. I thought Burning was like one of your horror recommendations. And I'm watching, I'm like, this feels very like indie, like drama romance.
It's 100% drama mystery, dude. Oh my word!
This whole time I was like, I'm not watching. I thought it was. I get it confused with Whaling because you're always trying to make me watch Whaling.
No, dude. It's Steven Yeun. Oh, come on.
Okay, we'll get there. But anyways, I digress. I'm getting us off topic here. You're dragging us into the weeds, dragging me in the weeds into the
your
mud.
List, dude.
My
Tell us
next
your next movie.
My next movie also is Peacock. I realized I just picked 3 movies that all came out in 2024, but that's okay.
Yes.
It's The Bike Riders. And the reason I chose The Bike Riders is because it kind of goes hard. And in terms of like, I love Tom Hardy, Austin Butler. After seeing what he's been doing, like I loved him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I believe that's the first time I saw him. I didn't know he was a Disney actor.
Yeah.
I think it's Disney. Dude, he's just been coming out swinging, dude. Him and freaking Glenn Powell are just taking over this summer, dude. So anyways, between Dune 2 and Bike Riders, Austin Butler is crushing. This movie, Jodie Comer, which, dude, her accent was spot on. Did you watch this one in theaters?
Insane. Yeah, I saw it in theaters.
All I saw on Twitter was how accurate Jodie Comer's Midwestern accent is, because it is very... So I didn't grow up in the Midwest. I didn't grow up in biker culture, but I feel like it is very much so that. Like, it's America, nostalgia, America, bike riding, small town culture, and her accent is just, it's on point. It's super fun. We did say this is one of the movies that you should wait to watch on streaming. And so here's your chance on Peacock. If you have Peacock, it comes out August. It comes out sooner than The Fall Guy. It comes out August 9th. But yeah, I just thought it was great, and I don't think it'll necessarily be for everyone. Jeff Nichols is a pretty rad independent filmmaker who's made some really good movies. But yeah, here's a chance to watch it. I think it'll definitely make you think. I think there's some parts that are that has a little bit of humor in it, but yeah. Anyways, I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna say at the end, I feel like because it's not on streaming yet, we shouldn't spoil it. But you know, the demise of one of the characters, that actually upset me quite a bit. And I knew it was coming.
Right.
But it really did upset me. And I don't know why. And especially the way that the biker gang reacted to it.
Yeah.
I was actually upset. I was like, man, I didn't realize I was this engaged in the movie. I was like, what the?
Me too.
Like, oh, I was actually hot after that. I was not super stoked. But again, and so I think it was a great movie.
It is.
I think it's well worth a watch, a stream for sure. If you checked out the newsletter.
$20 for a ticket though in the theaters, that was the only tough part. And I think a big part of that too is, when I think about movie experiences, I take into consideration, do you want to be in a full theater, and should you watch it on a big screen? Sound design, like not so much just is the movie a good movie, but the whole entire experience of that movie. And instead of paying $20 to watch this one movie, if you happen to have this account or friends and you're living on someone else's stream, then I think it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. So
Yeah.
that's my third movie. But now we're going to go into the unseen parts of it and what is on our radar coming up that we're excited about.
For me, it is a shame. I know. Kaylee and I have not jumped into the world of House of the Dragon.
Have you seen any of the Game of Thrones?
No.
Oh, okay.
Dude, so we're really blowing it.
Okay.
And so we need to jump on board.
In the spirit of there's a lot of shit out there. Dude, I feel you, dude. There is a lot of things. Is there any reason why you haven't jumped onto it? Does it feel intimidating? Is it like just, I feel like opening up a can of worms kind of thing where there's 8 seasons, right? I think of Game of Thrones.
8 seasons,
and
man.
That
feels like a lot.
House of the Dragon. So
let's see. Game of Thrones. There's 73 episodes.
Okay.
So it's not that. We just need to do it.
73 hours.
I don't know.
Dude.
There's no reason.
That's just about how much footage I'm going to be watching for this documentary.
Going to be editing down for school.
Oh, but dude, no, but I get it. It's intense, dude. I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I think the first season came out in 2011.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm having more compassion for you because it took me forever. I watched it for the first time when it would have been 2019, I think. I watched seasons 1 through.
Oh, wow.
I binged all of them just so I can watch the last season in real time. So it took me forever to dive into that world. And then Hot D, House of the Dragon, I didn't watch I watched part of season 1, like one episode, half of an episode. And then that was August 2022, I think. And then I just didn't watch anymore until this, like literally about a month or two ago before this series came out. So,
well, and the other thing too is I think I'm too online. Like I know now all the feedback that the finale got. And so I don't know what happened and none of it makes any sense to me. So anything I did see did not spoil anything, but it's a matter of like, all right, I'm going to get to 60 hours and really enjoy it. And then the last 13 hours, I'm going to be like, what the I just need to do it. It doesn't matter. I need to just pull the trigger.
Well, I'd be interested too because one, you're talking about Game of Thrones, right?
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Because the other thing is the Hot D's finale is this Sunday, and that's another reason why I think that's exciting. It's literally ending this Sunday. But I'm curious, and maybe people can write in. Also, if you're listening on Spotify, you can comment now, which I think I'm excited about. So you can make comments. So if you're on Spotify or if you just want to write in and let us know, chat. If you've seen both, because I don't know yet where I feel about watching Hot D first, because technically it's a prequel to Game of Thrones, or if someone should, like Eric, should watch Game of Thrones first, then Hot D, because I can see an argument for both ways, but I'm just curious what other people think. But yeah, season finale, dude, this Sunday.
Gotta jump on. So what's yours? What's yours that you haven't watched?
I put Murders in the Building because one, I always see it every year on the internet. Grammys or not? Is it Grammys? Yeah, no, not Grammys.
Oscars, Emmys?
Oscars and
Emmys.
Globes and Emmys. Not Oscars. You're right. Dang, I'm just getting my words all mixed up right now. Golden Globes and Emmys. I always see that they're winning awards, and so I haven't seen. And there's like, dude, the ensemble cast of this. Of course, you have Steve Martin, Selena Gomez, but there's Martin Short? Let's see, Jesse Williams, Meryl Streep, Amy Ryan's. There's just like just Paul Rudd, Jane Lynch. Oh, dude, I love Jane Lynch. Did you watch Glee?
No, I never saw Glee.
Did you see Role Models?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sturdy Wings, the Sturdy Wings woman who runs the thing.
Oh,
that's Jane
Lynch.
Yes. She's in this show, and I love her. She's hilarious to me. Tina Fey, Sting. I didn't know Sting was in this. But anyways, there's a lot of people in this. So the season 4 is releasing this month. So that comes out Tuesday, August 27th. So the older roomies are super into it. I watched maybe 2 episodes in the background while they watched it, but and it wasn't from the very beginning. But anyways, that one's on my radar. It's just so hard with these series, though. Again, going back to the series, there's just so much to watch and there's so many things. But this one's on there because yes, again, I don't think I've met one person that's like, oh, I hate Murders in the Building, or even saying it's mid. So that's my list.
Wow, I guess now that you're saying it, I googled it. That cast is ridiculous.
And I wonder if it's different seasons. Like there's this core cast, and then different seasons have different characters or actors for that season, or if they're continual like reoccurring characters. I have no idea, but the amount of people the cast is pretty wild.
And there's only 20 episodes total.
Oh, okay.
So it's not. Are we dramatic though? Like this is what we want to. This is what we like to do.
I know.
It's like, oh, I don't want to watch this really great show. There's a lot. That's how I feel just now. I'm like, there's 63 episodes, and I'm like, that's a good thing if I like it, right? Right. I'm like, damn, we just gotta.
I know,
because we always Kelly and I always talk about that. Like, oh, if we found a good show or a good movie that's a decent. In my take in the newsletter, again, a plug, I said that the ideal length for a movie was like anything over 2 hours because I like more.
Right.
So what am I doing? I'm contradicting myself right now.
Dude, we're just walking paradoxes, dude.
Oh, man, that's incredible.
Oh, alrighty. Well, thank you all for joining us for another episode of the Sweet and Condensed podcast. Few plugs real quick and updates. Again, Medium Project episode. It ends with us. We're reading the book, we're watching the movie, and we're recording an episode. It's fun through conversation and categories, best cast, worst cast, stuff like that. How we imagined the world of the book being adapted into the movie. We have social media. Today's favorite Watch Wednesday. A lot of fun. So follow us on social media. The handle's in the show notes. We got a Patreon if you love and support the show. That's one way to support it is by going to Patreon.
Send us your money.
Send us your money. And then also, let's see, Substack, our newsletter. Our newsletter goes out every week. Movies to watch, our movie takes, and also movies that are on our watch list, like A Complete Unknown. Do I want to include that? We haven't said that yet. We're saying that this Friday.
Did we say that? Oh, Friday, yeah.
Anyways,
yeah, because this will be out. Yeah,
just sign up for the newsletter if you enjoy things about movies. The latest blockbusters, we go every week to let you know if it's worth the price of admission. Anyway,
hold on. Let me say this: if you made it this far into the episode, then you deserve this. You probably put the avocado toast aside for a day and send us a couple bucks. Okay?
There you go.
On the Patreon. Okay? If you made it this far, then I feel like we have that close enough of a bond through your ears for me to say that.
Oh, absolutely. And if you've made it this far, after that far, 5-star ratings, reviews, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We would love you forever. It really helps the show.
Share, comment.
Share.
Come on.
Comment. Just, you got a friend. You got a friend that loves movies. Shoot them over something. Shoot them over this Substack. Shoot them over this podcast. Shoot them over all three of the things. But anyways, thank you all so much. On a serious note, much love. See you on the next episode.